Hey everyone, welcome to Anime and Games Galore, and this right here is my Nintendo Switch OLED Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Edition, and this is arguably the star of my channel. It has been featured in 4 videos prior to this one. This will be the 5th video I feature it in, and the reason for that is because with the Nintendo Switch 2 having been out for a little while at the time of this recording, about 2 months, I've decided to make somewhat of a love letter of sorts in the form of a video explaining my time with the Nintendo Switch. This console has actually done a lot for me, not just by providing a lot of awesome and immersive gaming experiences, but it actually helped me in quite a few other ways ever since I first got one. So fun fact, this actually isn't the first Nintendo Switch I've ever owned. The first Switch I ever got was actually just a few weeks after it first came out. I got the one with the gray colored Joy-Cons. I went to Best Buy one day hoping against hope that they might have some in stock because it was pretty hard to get when it first came out. But they did actually have one, thankfully, behind the customer service counter, and with little hesitation, I ended up buying it along with a copy of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and a screen protector because the screens were prone to scratching in the dock at the time. And while I enjoyed my time with that one, when the OLED version came out, I thought, cool. But I wasn't really interested in it at the time, one because my first Switch was still working just fine, and also because at that time, and still to this day, I primarily use it in TV mode. Like, I don't really play it in portable mode all that much unless I'm traveling. But when Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out, I really liked the new console that they had for the game, the new limited edition that they had. They have released a couple of Pokemon exclusive Switches before this one, but one day I was looking on eBay and I saw this one right here for a pretty reasonable price for what it was, and I decided to pull the trigger. And since I love Pokemon so much, I figured, why not have a Pokemon Edition Switch? And for those who haven't seen my unboxing video, you can feel free to go watch it. Somewhat of a shameless plug. You know, it actually kind of helped me get back into making YouTube videos, because I have made videos before, you know, periodically here and there when I was in high school. I have unboxed Nintendo consoles before. Why didn't I make a video at the time for the Nintendo Switch when I first got it, when I unboxed it? I didn't really have a good enough camera at the time, and well, I mean, I was just too excited to have it, you know, to make an unboxing video of it. But that wasn't the case for this one. I was really stoked to have it, but I figured it deserved to be I figured it was just such a momentous occasion that I decided to share my passion with Nintendo and with Pokemon with the entire world, and that's still what I'm doing to this day. I could not be more proud of myself for that. So the cool thing about the Switch is, well, it has its own tablet screen and built-in controllers that you can detach from the console. You can also plug it into a dock and play it on your TV, hence why these controllers are detachable. But Nintendo, with this console, single-handedly reinvented the way portable video game consoles are created. You know, before this one, we had the likes of the Game Boy, Nintendo DS, and Sony had the PlayStation Portable, or PSP, and later the PS Vita. But in light of the Wii U's original failure, Nintendo decided to change the game a little bit, no pun intended, the way people play video games. They decided to make a console that you can play on your TV, but whenever you have anywhere else you got to be, you can take that same game that's playable on your TV and take it with you. You know, so it's not just a watered down version of a game that you'd play on your TV. You know, they're able to scale it down onto a tablet-sized device, and you know, the game pretty much has just about the same quality as it would on your big TV. And while this system might not be as portable as a Nintendo DS, a lot of companies really started to take notice of the Switch and how much people clearly enjoy this thing, even though it can't fit into a pocket as well as a DS can, unless it's like one of the XL versions. But companies like Steam, Asus ROG, and Lenovo seem to have gotten into the craze too. We have gaming PC tablets such as the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, and the Legion Go and Legion Go S that pretty much drew inspiration somewhat from Nintendo. And you know, now people can take their consoles with them on a road trip or an airport or something like that, and you know, they can play very top-notch quality games on the go. But while the hybrid portability factor has been a huge selling point for the console, making it the third best-selling game console of all time behind the PlayStation 2 and the Nintendo DS, quite possibly its biggest selling point, not just for the console itself, but for any game console, and pretty much the reason why just about everyone buys a game console in the first place, is its game library. Not only did Nintendo cook when it came to first-party games for the console, a lot of game developers clearly saw potential for this thing. This console has had quite possibly the best third-party support that hasn't been seen since the days of the Super Nintendo. That console was known for having a bastion of third-party games as well. Just about every Nintendo console that followed afterward didn't quite have the third-party support that it could have had. The N64, GameCube, even the Wii. But you can get just about any kind of game that you want on this console, whether you're a fan of platformer games or puzzle games or arcade classics or horror games too, or RPGs. This console, like, it has, and a lot of indie developers too. I mean, video games have exploded in the past like 25 years or so. So a lot more games are coming out these days. This console has also seen quite its fair share of re-releases of games too, for people who are nostalgic for video games from like the 2000s, 1990s, even the 1980s, or sometimes even earlier. Like Nintendo and a whole bunch of other companies like Square Enix, Atari, and Sega, and SNK, they've re-released quite a bit of classics on this thing. Like one of the biggest examples is Nintendo re-releasing the big three Super Mario 3D games in the form of Super Mario 3D All Stars. They released Super Mario 64, which happens to be my personal favorite video game. They've also re-released Super Mario Sunshine and even Super Mario Galaxy, which is on the Wii. You know, just the fact that I get to play these three games on here is just so cool. I mean, granted, not all of them are exclusive to this console. You can get them on PS5, Xbox, and especially PC too. But it's just still really awesome to see that that game companies, still care enough about where they came from to re-release their games, to not just for people who are nostalgic for them, but also for people who want to for people who weren't alive to experience them and may experience them for the first time. While we're on the subject, you gotta love how Nintendo went back to using game cartridges, or cards as these things are called. They used to be called game packs during the NES and SNES days. Unlike the GameCube, Wii, and Wii U, which use CDs, But again, it does make sense for a portable console to use cartridges, because the PSP did actually use discs called UMDs, which are, in my experience, not very reliable and can get scratched and stuff very easily. And then with the PS Vita, they ended up using cartridges for that as well, which again makes perfect sense, honestly. One thing I really love about the Switch, though, is as a big Pokemon fan, not only can you play Pokemon games on the go, but you can also play them on your TV too. Although historically you could do that if you really wanted, with the Super Game Boy for the Super Nintendo, or the Game Boy adapter for the GameCube. But the fact that Nintendo actually has released Pokemon games since the Switch's launch that are playable, that are meant to be played either on the go or on the TV, is just awesome. But the best thing the Switch has done for me is it actually helped me really connect with my girlfriend. She and I actually met online about 6 years ago, and she and I bonded over how much we enjoy Nintendo video games. She and I are both big fans of Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon games. She particularly loves Legend of Zelda. Feel free to go watch the unboxing video that we did of her Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch. She's actually owned, I think at this point, 4 Switches. She owned the original Switch, she owned a Switch Lite, she's owned 2 Switch OLEDs. She got the white one when it first came out, and then she ended up getting the Tears of the Kingdom Switch. And she was actually the one who encouraged me to go for the Scarlet and Violet Switch. Back when she and I just friends, we really connected by playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Animal Crossing online, and we later played a little Minecraft too online as well. We used to love to play video games online back when we were just friends. Anytime I got the chance to hang out with her and play video games online, I'd always get so excited. And a little over a year ago, I finally mustered up the courage to tell her how much she means to me, to confess my feelings to her, and the rest is history. we ended up making YouTube videos together. And you know, if you want to see more in the future, feel free to leave a like down below. So here's the million-dollar question: will I be upgrading to the Nintendo Switch 2? Well, I really enjoy my Switch OLED, and while it's done so much for me, and there's still a lot of banger games for the console, many of which are still in my backlog I haven't completed yet, it's hard to ignore all the awesome new games that are coming out exclusively for the Switch 2 as well. Even with Mario Kart World aside, we have Donkey Kong Bonanza, we have Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrale, I think that's how it's pronounced, and we have The Adventures of Elliot, the latter two of which are made by Square Enix. Whenever I do travel with this thing, sometimes I feel like, you know, I mean, it is a limited edition unit, and I love how this thing looks, and that's why I don't really want to damage it whenever I travel with it, even though I do have a case for it. But another thing is, like, the Switch, in my opinion, isn't the most ergonomic console to play in handheld mode, and I could put grips on it from Satisfy or something, but I don't want to, like, you know, mess up the look of this one, which is part of the reason why whenever I may get the Switch 2, I want to get like a grip for it. Whenever I do get it, I will make an unboxing video for it. If you want to see that, feel free to let me know down in the comments. And that has been my time and experiences with the Nintendo Switch and Switch OLED. This console really means a lot to me, and I was 19 years old when the console first came out and when I first bought it, so it's been my primary gaming companion for my entire adult life, and it's done so much for me in that time. Not just provide an awesome and immersive gaming experience, it helped me get back into making YouTube content again, and best of all, it helped me meet and bond with my now girlfriend. So this thing means so much to me, and with the Switch 2 coming out, this isn't necessarily a send-off or anything per se, but it's just me expressing appreciation for the time that I've spent with this thing. So feel free to let me know down in the comments what your favorite memories with the Switch are, if you have one, and whether or not you do planning on getting a Switch 2 for yourself or not. And I promise you, if and whenever I get a Switch 2, I will unbox it, so feel free to leave a like or a comment if you ever want to see that. Thanks for watching.